Hi, everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, episode 91. If you haven't watched my videos before, we grade everything here on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Let's jump right into it. The first match of the show, Ren Narita versus Chris Dickinson. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I think Red Narita, I've said it, and if you watched a couple of these where he's wrestled, I'm probably going to start sounding like a broken clock, or I don't know, something that repeats itself a lot. I'm going to start sounding like a parrot. I think he has nothing but upside to him. Chris Dickinson's a really solid wrestler. He's pretty good. I don't know if he's already met his ceiling, which, if he has, he's still got a pretty good ceiling. Ren Narita, I look at him as someone that could be like the next Shibata, which is fitting because he was trained by Shibata. This was my favorite match of the night. It goes to a 15-minute draw, which was kind of cool. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it again. If it's not used as a crutch and it's used sparingly, this is the first time in 91 episodes of Strong that they've used a draw for a finish. So in this context, it makes Ren Narita look more important because he took a veteran like Chris Dickinson, who's well established, and took him to the 15-minute limit. For that, I'm giving this match a 4. I thought it was really solid. Like I said, my favorite match of the show. Next up, we have representing the LA Dojo, Carl Fredericks and Clark Connors, going up against Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado, representing the Factory. The Factory has QT Marshall with them. To offset that, LA Dojo has Yu Uemura with them. Again, much like I said, with Ren Narita, what they've been doing in the LA Dojo, pumping these guys out, Uemura, Narita, Fredericks, Connors, they're all great, and they're all coming along a lot faster than they really should be. They all, to me, could be stars right now, and it's really cool watching a show like New Japan Strong, getting to see their evolution from being basically young lions to where they are now, and they're probably going to go even further. I really enjoy the concept. It's kind of what WWE wanted to do with NXT, and they're kind of back to doing with NXT 2.0, where you get to see someone go from a project to a decent wrestler to a really good wrestler to the point where they can become a star and be on the main show, in this case, New Japan proper, which I know a lot of these guys for the next 10, 15 years, they're going to be the guys that are the faces of the company. And it's really awesome how good these wrestlers coming out of the New Japan or LA Dojo are. And the New Japan Dojo itself is legendary. Some legendary wrestlers have come out of there. I just think it's a great thing. In this case, the LA Dojo picks up the win here, which leads us to QT Marshall afterwards. A little bit off on the volume. We couldn't really hear what he was saying, but the gist of it was he challenges Carl Fredericks for a match when they go to the 2300 Arena, aka the ECW Arena. So that's coming up, I would guess soon. They've already done that show, so I imagine it's going to be a taping coming up here at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. I thought this was a good segment. Not quite as good as the first one. I'm giving this a 3. Now we roll right into our main event, a 6-man tag match with Russ Taylor, Masquerade Dorada, and Brody King, going up against the United Empire team of Great-O-Khan, Aaron Henare, and TJP. I keep wanting to call him Toa Henare, even though he's been Aaron for a while now. And I don't call Great-O-Khan Oka anymore, so I don't know why I always want to call him. Maybe it's because they didn't change his last name that it's sticking to me. This was a treat. I liked the face-off in the beginning of the match by with Great Khan and Brody King. I'd love to see that as a solo match somewhere at some time. I think it would burn the house down. I really enjoyed. You have, guys on the one side. You got kind of a mismatch of talent going up against one of the New Japan's hottest acts in the United Empire. United Empire has really been on a tear. They've won several championships since becoming a faction. I would say they're right up there, just below Bullet Club and LIJ. I would say they're right up there in that stratosphere, and of course Chaos because of Okada. But I'd say they're right up there in that stratosphere as being one of the better factions and most consistently booked factions in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I kind of knew what was going to come from this. I mean, if you look at it, it's a team versus three guys that were put together. United Empire picks up the win. They continue on with the storyline of TJP keep stealing Mascara Dorada's mask, which I think is going to lead to, at some point, a hair versus mask match, which will be cool to see. I'd enjoy that, especially if they do it on Strong. It's really cool that they would build to such an important match. And if you're an American wrestling fan and you're not familiar with Lucha Libre, that's pretty much the penultimate match for Lucha Libre is a mask versus hair, mask or hair versus hair. That's their blow-off to a feud that's just never ending. So for these guys, if they lead to that, I think it's an awesome build-up. Those two together have amazing chemistry. They have had amazing chemistry. I want to say they faced off in the Cruiserweight Classic when it first happened. Again, United Empire picks up the win in this one. I'm giving this one a solid 4. Overall, I thought this was a really great show, and it continues to prove why New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong is my favorite wrestling show week by week. They give you quality. The quality of the shows goes from good, really good, to great. It never falls down into that bad show territory, where other shows, Raw, SmackDown, Impact, you may get a bad show here and there. AEW even throws in some stinkers every now and then. But to me, the worst New Japan Strong show is still pretty good. It's an awesome show, and I love that because, if you think about this is a place to showcase younger talent, to showcase their LA Dojo kids, also trying to build a little bit of a fan base in America, so we get behind those people like myself that follow New Japan. If we follow Carl Fredericks in Strong, we can follow his whole career, and he's kind of our guy because he came from America, came from the LA Dojo, came from New Japan Strong. So I like the concept, I really do. I think it's amazing. Again, I gush over it pretty much every week. You can watch all my reviews of this, and I'm gushing over the show every time I do a review. I think it's the most consistent, best wrestling show on television, in my humble opinion. With all that being said, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't, and if you've made it all the way to the end, put in the comments one of two things, either mask or hair. If you'd rather see TJP lose his hair, put hair. If you'd rather see Mascara Dorada lose his mask, put mask, to let me know that you came all the way to the end. With that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, Episode 91.